What's up, everyone? How are you doing? If you don't already know, my name is Sarah. This is my husband, Marcus, and this is our sweet dog, Dobie. Today, we're going to be talking about our IVF journey so far and our future plans to have babies.
Yeah. I had an appointment March 16th for an ultrasound, an AMH blood work. AMH stands for anti-malaria.
AMH stands for anti-malarian hormone.
I have to say that. You can say that. Can I start over?
Okay.
I had an appointment March 16th for an ultrasound and AMH blood work.
AMH stands for anti-malarian hormone. That test alone was $45.
The next step was to stop taking my testosterone for 4 weeks. So my last day of T was March 22nd. Our clinic ended up switching my start date for medication, and because we were getting married on May 15th, Sarah and I had to postpone until after the wedding. So I ended up being off T for a lot longer than I had anticipated. After our wedding, I had an appointment on May 17th for more blood work and another ultrasound. Everything looked good, so I was able to start meds that night. Sarah and I were also taught on video call about a week before starting meds how to use all the injections.
So they started Marcus on FSH injections first, which is a follicle stimulating hormone. This helps the eggs mature for extraction. May 21st, he went in for more blood work and another ultrasound to check on the growth of the eggs, and they increased his dose of FSH from 200 milligrams to 250 milligrams. So in the video, you'll see that he had to start injecting multiple pens some nights because there's only 300 milligrams in each pen. After that, on May 23rd, he started Cetrotide, which is an anti-ovulation medication to stop Marcus from ovulating before we can extract the eggs. May 25th, he went in for more blood work and another ultrasound plus medication. And May 27th, they did another ultrasound to check if Marcus was ready for the trigger shot. How the trigger shot works is once you inject it, your egg retrieval is scheduled 36 hours after injection. So finally on May 28th, we pulled the trigger and Marcus had his egg retrieval May 30th at 8 a.m. But of course, we had to be there a lot earlier. During this whole time, because of COVID, I had to wait in the car for all his appointments and for his procedure as well. So Marcus was completely alone. How'd that feel?
It was okay.
He was a trooper, though. He really...
It would have been nicer to have you with me, but they were really welcoming. It was,
a good experience?
Yeah.
Minus injecting yourself in your stomach every day?
Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, finally, after weeks of waiting, we found out that we have 10 eggs frozen, and we are currently in the next steps of creating embryos. We will be using a sperm bank, and we'll be sharing that journey with you all as well. So now I'm going to show you the whole process, all the injections and everything that we recorded. And if you have any questions, you can always leave it down below in the comments section. I don't know what else to say.
I made an appointment to get that process on the roll.
On the roll.
We'll have to be sort of careful with what dose of FSH we use because you have so many follicles. We really don't want to wake all of them up at the same time.
Yeah.
But then we have to temper that with you've been on T for 4 years, and so the function of the ovary is a little bit suppressed.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to doctors to figure out the perfect dose.
Okay.
So you're still on T, is that correct?
That's right.
Is it IM? Intramuscular?
Yes.
And you give it to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be a pro with these fertility drugs because they're just under the skin.
Okay.
So they're a lot less involved.
Okay.
They'd be under the skin in your belly.
Okay.
So the nurses will teach you how to use them. You could probably teach us, but it's more about like how you turn that
Okay.
sort of thing.
Yes. Yes.
So the way that this works, we don't know the magic number for how many weeks or months people should be off T for the best response, but we've sort of decided on 4 weeks as a clinic.
Okay.
So you would take, your last injection when you want to. 4 weeks after that, we do ultrasound and blood work. So similar to what you did. Hopefully it wasn't too awful.
Okay.
But we're looking to see, are the ovaries waking up a little bit? Is there any follicle growth that we don't want? That sort of thing. Okay, so when was your last dose of T?
My last dose of tea was on Monday.
The 22nd?
Yeah, and I actually just ran out. I have an appointment next week to get more, so I can miss next. Like I could start missing it next week.
Yeah, so then we could see you on like the 19th of April for
Okay.
the blood and ultrasound, and do the injection teaching the week of the 12th, because we want you to have your medicine and know how to use it before the day you start.
Okay.
And then if on the 19th everything looks good, you would start that night.
Okay.
So you would start with FSH alone generally. Sometimes we do FSH and luteinizing hormone, so I'll see what Dr. But usually it's FSH alone. And then we see you back 4 days later. And then as the follicles get bigger, your body will want to try to ovulate, and we don't want that to happen. So we add an anti-ovulation injection as well. So you'll be on FSH alone, then FSH plus an anti-ovulation drug. And then we see you probably 2 more times after that to follow the growth of the follicles and count how many there are. And then when they look like they're reaching maturity or a certain size, that's when we book the egg retrieval. So we don't know what day your retrieval will be ahead of time. It's based on the growth of these follicles.
Okay, no problem. And now all these medications I'll be on, what sort of side effects do they have?
The most common is bloating.
Sorry?
So,
Bloating.
Bloating.
So when people ovulate, it's usually 1 egg. We're trying to get 10 to 15 to grow all at once if we can. So people say the bloating is the most frustrating.
Now is the
Some
bloating
people
sorry,
Yeah.
is the bloating from the medication itself or is it from the like the injections?
It's both. It's
Okay.
sort of your ovaries getting bigger,
Yeah.
but also it seems like, because some people get it from like the first injection, so it can't just be the ovaries growing, because you don't notice the ovary growing
Yeah.
on ultrasound until like 8 days later.
Yeah.
And some people say I already feel bloated and my ovaries haven't really changed in size. So I think part of it is the hormones,
Okay.
but also the growth of the ovaries. So
Okay.
it's kind of a double whammy.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the other side effects most commonly are headaches that people get and emotional sort of response. They're hormones, so people feel little things bother them more.
Okay.
And then, of course, the whole effect of you stopping your T, hopefully it's only 2 to 2.5 weeks. That's the average amount of time.
For this process?
Sometimes it's a bit longer if the ovaries are slow to respond.
Mm-hmm.
But that's generally as long as it takes.
Okay.
And then once we book the egg retrieval, we would tell you stop your injection, take a final injection to mature the eggs, and then you would come in 2 days later for the retrieval under IV or intravenous sedation. So you're not asleep. We don't give a general anesthetic for this. You're awake, but you're sort of groggy, and your comfort level is individual. Some people say I felt some pressure, it wasn't so bad. Other people said I felt a lot of the procedure. They weren't very happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we don't want people to feel the procedure or be in pain, but we can't put people completely to sleep because then they stop breathing if that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like a delicate balance. We want you comfortable. We don't want to over sedate you.
Okay. Okay.
Your blood work and ultrasound make it look like you will grow lots. Not everyone does, though, and sometimes it surprises all of us. But hopefully when you come for your visits, it looks like a good number of follicles are growing. If they aren't, we might want to talk about, is there room to go up on the dose to get more? Do we stop and try it again?
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Okay.
Because of COVID, you won't be able to bring anyone in for the actual procedure. But you definitely need someone to pick you up because you can't drive. You'll be groggy. We don't want you wandering the streets by yourself.
Okay.
I'll wait in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And In terms of how you feel after, it's kind of variable too. Some people are bloated for at least a couple of weeks because their ovaries stay big. Some people feel kind of bruised and uncomfortable. But generally, people are back to themselves within a couple of days of the procedure. But we've had a couple where they were like, I had to be off work for a week or two, which it's rare.
Yeah.
That doesn't normally happen. That would happen more if people, made more eggs than we had hoped.
Yeah.
So they feel a little unwell because of that.
Okay.
Put whoever's carrying on the list. We thaw all of the eggs. We inject them with sperm. We see if they fertilize and grow to be embryos. And if there's multiple embryos, which would be great, we only put one embryo in a uterus and freeze the extra ones in case that one didn't work.
If we wanted to do a 2-embryo transfer, would that be possible?
Because twins can carry some risks
Mm-hmm.
to the person carrying and to the fetuses.
Mm-hmm.
So our clinic, we're very conservative because we want a healthy pregnancy. We don't want, complications and ICU stays and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't be putting 2 in, especially from 23-year-old eggs. Because the health of the eggs is usually very high. So it would be very high risk to put 2 in. Like, what if they both split and then there's 4? Like,
Oh, boy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Would it matter if, because I would be the one carrying his eggs, I have PCOS and I have like a lot of issues when it comes to that. Since like if his eggs, being 23-year-old eggs, and if everything's great and they're really healthy, like everything is what we want and we're expecting, would my PCOS carrying the child like affect the odds of the baby sticking or?
It shouldn't. We don't often use someone's menstrual cycle for the embryo transfer. We usually just use estrogen and progesterone and sort of make our own cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So that once the lining in the uterus is a certain thickness, we add progesterone and then transfer the embryo. It's kind of like a pap test, except a little more involved because
Mm-hmm.
the catheter is going through the cervix and not just on the surface of the cervix. But people say the worst part is they have a full bladder and we're putting an ultrasound down.
I hate that.
But the actual transfer isn't too bad. But it shouldn't impact you carrying to have PCO. Okay, so I'm going to speak with Dr. the actual cycle, and then we'll get this appointment to book you for your injection teaching. It's usually by Zoom, but you will have to come into the clinic to pick up your medicines because you can't just go to a pharmacy. They have to be from our clinic. Where do you live?
Brampton.
Okay, so it's a bit of a hike, but hopefully it's worth coming in for the medicine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm used to it. Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll book the actual ultrasound and blood work for the next week after that, probably I think we said the 19th.
Okay.
And hopefully start that day. And if you're able to start that day, you'd probably be done before May.
That'd be perfect. Because our wedding's in May. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, so that works out well.
Okay. And you could start tea like the day after or the night of egg retrieval.
Okay.
Baby.
We had so many eggies.
Yeah. I know you would. I had a feeling. We're gonna get so many babies out of them. So this is the pen. The needle.
Do you have to take the
Open.
Okay.
Like this. Separate. That's good. Take this. Peel it off.
Mhm. Just
It's ready to go with the needle in it. Yeah, it says to uncap them first, but I don't want to
I just uncap it. It's
trick
fine.
ourselves. But hold on. So once we uncap it,
Maybe just uncap that one and leave the green one on, and then.
no, because it can still poke you through the green one. That's what it's telling you. So after we uncap it, you set it to 200, and then you wipe yourself, and then you do it. So we're gonna uncap it after. With your fingers.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
You
No,
want
this
this
side, this side.
2 fingers, but we're gonna wipe the whole entire area. You're gonna uncap, uncap.
Okay.
Then you're gonna turn. $200. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
You want me to inject you?
Yes, please. Are you okay with that? Or
Mhm.
you don't want me to do it? Because you squish?
Mm-hmm.
90-degree angle.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Up. Pull my stomach. Yes. Awesome. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You want one?
I think so.
And back over there. Take out.
5 and 0.
Yeah. See? Can you make sure it's at 0? How was it? Did it hurt? Don't twist the rug, because there's still more medication in there. How do you feel?
Yay, it's over.
So, that was
No more needles.
that was our last IVF injection until the trigger shot, which is hopefully tomorrow. And that basically looks like the red pen, except it's green. So yeah, hopefully we get to take that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And 36 hours after we take it, he gets to go in for his procedure. He did such a good job.
Yeah.
And so far, as of right now, those were his last Gonal F and Cetrotide shots. So hopefully we keep it that way.
Yes.
Love you. Good job. You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Tell the people how you're feeling.
Oh, shit.
What's wrong?
A headache.
And
My neck hurts.
and
Nauseous.
is that all?
I think so. I'm tired.
Love you. Hope you get better soon.
Head hurts a lot.
I know. Goodbye.
Bye.
It's your last shot ever. Are you happy? How do you feel?
So we should take that little box too and hand that.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment any questions you have, like this video, and subscribe to our channel because we're going to be having a lot more updates and everything. One of the reasons that we have kind of been slacking on this channel is because if you notice, our background is different than it usually is when we film. We moved into our new place, so it's been very busy and a lot happening. Plus, the wedding was in May. Then we moved in June. We've been unpacking. I've been getting settled into a new city because I've never lived in this city before. Then COVID, and it's just been a lot going on. A lot has been happening. I do plan to hopefully do an apartment tour on this channel. So yeah, I kind of have a lot of ideas for what I want to be posting. If you have anything that you want to see from us, then just let us know, and we will see you in the next video. So thanks again for watching.
Bye.